Hi, welcome back to the Writing Net channel. I believe the students of class 10 in Tamil Nadu are very happy after seeing an easy question paper English. Yes, of course, the question paper was very easy, and today we are going to discuss the answers and the analysis of the question paper. Before getting deep into the video, hit the bell icon, do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now I'm having a question paper in my hand and I'm going to tell you the answers of all the questions and also an analysis how textbook played a very important role in the examination. So let us go part by part, section by section. So when you take part 1, we had 14 one words where all the one words were direct from the textbook except for one question HDMI that was also there in the textbook. So everything was direct from the textbook. So first one, indigenously, the answer is naturally, plaintively, sadly, unperturbed, undisturbed. It's not disturbed, it is undisturbed. Wet, blunt, gruffly, happily, inclusion, exclusion, radius, radii. Prefix to nutrition, which is malnutrition, HDMI, high definition multimedia interface. Priya felt happy to get along with. So 10th one is get along with the neighbors in the new locality of California. Traffic, a word to pair with the traffic, which is traffic jam. I reached M. Hemal's garden all out of breath. So the right answer is off. 13th one, I had such a shock when the dying man bolted the door and locked it. So the answer is locked. We are on our way to Kolkata from Chennai. So the answer is from. I believe all these questions were from the textbook directly, and so you will not have any trouble in answering all these questions. And moving on to part 2, which is section 1, that carries 2 marks, and the questions were damn easy. I believe the questions, repeated questions were asked, like what prompted the young seagull to fly, special features of INS Vitharini, what did Aditya offer Sanyal, what was the doctor's warning to Tom. All these things, it is all repeated. And as I said, if you have prepared for the first 4 units completely, you could have attended all the answers from these 2 marks. Now moving on to section 2. Again, the appreciation questions. It's all very easy. What does a poet expect everyone to learn? It is to learn to walk with a confidence. What should we do when things go wrong? Sometimes we should have confidence, or we have to learn to walk with a smile and a song. This should be the answer. So 20th question, what does it refer to? It refers to the tree. In what way is the tree a mystery? The tree is a mystery because it never grows tall or becomes short. It is a mystery. 21st question, not I. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. For all nature looked gay. Who does I refer to? I refers to the cricket. What was the nature of the cricket? The cricket will never feel sorry for anything, or it will not save anything for the future. That was the nature of the cricket. Okay, 22nd question. Rumors are constantly being made and each of the house just begins to fade. What happened inside the house? Does the house remain the same every day? No. It begins to fade every day. Why does the poet consider the house to be a mystery? Because something happens and the house begins to fade every day. That is a mystery of the house. I believe all the questions are direct questions, so you could answer them very greatly. Now moving on to section 3, we have the repeated questions again. Now direct speech and indirect speech. 23rd question. Banu says, I am enjoying my holidays. Banu says that she is enjoying her holidays. Again, the other voice. This is also a question direct from the textbook. Our army has defeated the enemy. The enemy has been defeated by our army. Punctuate, as I have told you, the 4. First one, you have to begin the quote. Have, H should be the capital letter. Have you come from Holmes? Holmes is a name, proper noun. So H you will go for a capital letter, and after Holmes you will put a question mark because it is a question. It is a quote. It's asking a question as a question. And finally, he asked full stop. I believe all the 4 changes you would have done. And the 26th question, change the following sentence into a simple sentence. This is also from the textbook. She is sick, but she attends the rehearsal. So if you want to change this into a simple sentence, you have to go what scenario is followed here. Here, the exceptional scenario. She is sick, but she attends. So it is an exceptional, or you can even call it contrast. So how will you write a simple answer? You have to either use despite or in spite of. So the answer is, in spite of being sick, she attends her rehearsal, or despite being sick, she attends her rehearsal. So these are the answer till 26th question. 27th question, this is quite new. This is not the repeated question, but still the answers are there in the textbook. Again, the mountain road is full of dangers. First one, the mountain road is full of dangers. Second one, the sea can get really tough when the winds are picking up. The sea can get really tough when the winds are picking up. That should be the answer for the 27th B question. Now 28th question, as I have told you, it's a road map. I believe it's very common. I don't want to repeat the answer for it. And say part 3, section 1. So when you see 29 to 32 question, here you can see 3 questions are repeated. Which 3 questions are repeated? The struggles underwent by the young seagull, and the funny incident, technology in our day-to-day life. That is very, you can even generally write the answer. It is not necessary that you have to look into the textbook for the answer, because technology, it is becoming a boon in our everybody's life, right? So you can write a direct answer if you have not read from the textbook also. So I cannot tell that this question was really tough and the last day of Hemal in school. So if you have already prepared as instructed 4 units, any 4 units, you could have easily written the answer. Great. Now section 2, the journey of life in the poem Life. A repeated question again. I think you will not have any trouble here. And 34th question, the poem No Men Are Foreign has a greater relevance in today's world. That is also you can always write. Okay. 35th question, so the weather is always too hot or cold. Summer and winter alike they scold. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet down on the gloomy complaining street. So pick out the rhyming words. Rhyming words, cold, scold, meet, street. Rhyme scheme. This is also a repeated question. Give the rhyme scheme of the given stanza. Cold, scold, AA, meet, street, BB. So AA, BB is your rhyme scheme. Identify the figure of speech in the 4th line. Here comes the confusion to most of us. Many of you would have written personification. See, actually, we have 3 answers for this. We have to wait for the government official key that will be released. Government official answer key that will be released. See, when you take a complaining street, see here 2 things are applicable. One is epithet. Complaining is epithet. So it is an adjective. So it becomes an epithet. That is possible. Transferred epithet. The street will not become complaining. Only the people will become complaining. So you can also write a transferred epithet. And finally, the street is personified into a person who complains. So you can always use personification also in that case. So there are 3 possible answers for this question. It could be epithet, it could be transferred epithet, it could be personification. So we have to wait for the official government key from which the teachers will evaluate. So 3 possible answers are probably present for this question. It could be epithet, transferred epithet, and also personification. And the alliterating words in the second line, summer, scold. This is a repeated question. This was there in 2022 annual examination question paper, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Paraphrase. Again, you could write the meaning of the given 4 lines. So now moving on to the section 3. Section 3, as I have already told you, 37th rearrange. I generally don't go with this rearrangement. So I'm not going to give you the answer for this rearrangement also. Now moving on to the 38th question, that is the comprehension question. How was zigzag's voice? So it is a direct answer. It was there in the first line. Zigzag's voice was clear and commanding. Your second question, 2 expressions of zigzag. That is also a direct answer. Bored and grumpy. It is there in the third line. Who had trained a zigzag? This is the most confusing question. So many would have written Dr. Somu. And also you have one more answer there. An African witch doctor actually gifted this zigzag to Dr. Krishnan. So it was trained by two people. First it was by African witch doctor, second by Dr. Somu. I believe it should be both. You should have written the answer, and for this also we have to wait for the official answer key that is released by the government. Okay. And how was Dr. Krishnan's clinic transformed? It was just transformed into a calm and orderly place. And finally, zigzag never slept or snored even for a second. So this is the answer for the E question in 38. And coming back to section 4, you have an advertisement, what I have already told in the previous video. And this letter of inquiry, it is there in our textbook. It is there in the textbook at the back of the 6th or 7th lesson. I am not very sure which lesson it is present, but this question, exact question, is there in our textbook. So the students or the people who followed my previous video will surely would have written this answer. And coming to the 41st question, it's a very easy trip to Papanasam. So you would have, it's all given here, direct. The school name is given, school place is given, and who has to write the notice, everything is given. And look at the following picture, 42nd question. That is also quite easy. You can see it is a carnival. You can see all the people enjoying the carnival. So something relating to carnival or market, that would have got you good marks. Now, 43rd question. Its notes are write a summary. So I told you, you have to read this 43rd question again and to see whether it is only notes or summary. So here we have both notes and summary, and you have got it as 2 paragraphs. So you should have written it as 1 paragraph in your rough copy. If not in rough copy, at least in fair copy, you should have written as 1 paragraph. And you should have given a topic and you should have written the calculation to get the full 5 marks. It's very easy. Okay, 44th question. Identify the errors. Okay, I thought, let me give the answers for this. Rice is a staple food of Asians. Actually, the answer is rice is a staple food for Asians. Because Satya was old, he walked slow. Because Satya was old, he walked slowly. Slow but steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. I ought to be 15 next April. I will be 15 next April. Learning is a language. Learn a language is always useful. Learning a language is always useful. Again, here we have 2 or 3 questions that is repeated from the textbook. Section 5, 45th question. Again, a very easy poem. That is, I Am Every Woman by R.K. Shirkar. R.N. Shirkar. Yes. And part 4, again, Mulan. Very easy story. The story of Mulan, that you could have written it very easily. And the other one, that is also easy, but still Mulan was quite easier. Okay. Now, 47th question. Who participated in a bear hunting trip in Mississippi? It is American President Theodore Roosevelt, also known as Teddy, participated in a bear hunting trip in Mississippi. Second question, where did Mitchum place the stuffed bears? In front of the window of their shop. What was the news that spread out around the country about Teddy? What was the news that spread around? It was all a hunting trip. Teddy, he is going for the hunting trip and he is calling the other hunters as unsportsmanlike. So this news spread all over the country. Who is the shop owner? Mitchum is the shop owner. What did he do in his shop? He placed the stuffed bears in front of in the front of window in his shop. That was a thing done by Mitchum. So 47th question also very easy, except for the third question. Only if you would have understood the entire paragraph, you would have written the answer. But still it was very easy. 47th B question. What will you be? What is hard to decide? What will you be when you grow up is hard to decide. List the jobs mentioned in the poem: a dancer, a doctor, a teacher, and a cricketer. Pick out the days of the week mentioned in the poem. The weeks that has been mentioned here is Sunday and Thursday. Thursday and Sunday and Thursday has been mentioned in the poem. What career would you like to choose in future? It is an open probable question. Whatever you want to choose should be the answer. So this time poem comprehension was much easier comparative to the prose comprehension. So we had a discussion and analysis of the question paper of 2025 English 10th English board examination. So when you see the question paper, it is easy, quite easy. And high achievers, you have the space to score about 95. So there is no place that you can get low marks. And also for the slow learners and average learners, you are sure to get above 60 and 70. Average can easily score above 70, and the slow bloomers also can score something more than 50 percentage to my knowledge. So to the future generation, to the future students belonging to class 10, please concentrate the textbook that is present in your hand. Don't set aside the example sum, illustrations. Okay, let it be for your maths also. When you take maths also, start learning the illustration sums also, because the concentration will be there in your entire textbook. And here and there, for the high achievers, you will have a twisted question like HOTS. So that is different. So when you concentrate fully on your textbook, you are sure to get 100%. And also today's paper, I believe high achievers can score more than 95. So let us meet in some other video. Until then, bye.